in 1895. A thick yellow fog engulfed London, limiting visibility. Sherlock Holmes spent his days cross-indexing his reference book and studying medieval music. On the fourth day, he grew restless, feeling trapped indoors. He asked Dr. Watson if there was anything interesting in the news, but Watson found only reports of petty thefts and a possible war. Holmes believed the fog created an ideal setting for a thief or murderer to go unnoticed. Suddenly, a telegram arrived from his brother Mycroft, announcing his visit to discuss Captivated West. Mycroft rarely deviated from his routine, so this was unusual. Captivated West was a 27-year-old clerk at Woolwich Arsenal who died mysteriously on the Underground. His body was found with a crushed head, suggesting a fall from the train. Holmes was intrigued, sensing a complex case. A young man's body was found near a train track, but it's unclear how he got there. Detective Sherlock Holmes is tasked with solving the mystery. The man, Cadogan West, was a junior clerk who worked with top-secret government plans for the Bruce-Partington submarine. The plans were stolen, and only 7 of the 10 papers were found on West's body. The missing papers are crucial to national security, and Holmes must find them. West's identity was discovered through a checkbook and theater tickets found on him. His brother, Mycroft Holmes, is involved in the case and explains that the stolen plans could compromise the country's naval warfare capabilities. The papers were kept in a safe at the Woolwich Arsenal, and only 2 people had access: Sir James Walter, a government expert, and Mr. Sidney Johnson, a senior clerk. Holmes is asked to investigate and find the missing papers, as well as determine how West died and why his body was found near the train tracks. With the help of Inspector Lestrade, Holmes sets out to solve the case and uncover the truth behind the stolen plans. Sherlock Holmes investigates the theft of top-secret submarine plans from Woolwich. The plans were found on Cadogan West, a junior clerk who was murdered and thrown out of a train compartment. Inspector Lestrade believes West took the plans to sell them to a foreign agent, but Holmes thinks there's more to the case. Holmes, Lestrade, and Dr. Watson visit Aldgate Station, where West's body was found. They learn that a passenger heard a thud on the tracks around 11:40 p.m. on Monday night, but no ticket was found on West's body. Holmes becomes fixated on the train points and curve near the station, suspecting a crucial clue. Despite Lestrade's theory, Holmes is unconvinced and decides to investigate further in Woolwich. He sends a telegram to his brother Mycroft, saying he's found a glimmer of hope in the case, but it may not lead to a solution. Sherlock Holmes instructed me to send a list of foreign spies in England to Baker Street. As we traveled to Woolwich, he was energized, having discovered a novel circumstance. He believed the victim's body was placed on a train's roof, citing the bloodstains and the ticket as evidence. We visited Sir James Walter's villa, only to find he had died that morning due to a scandal. His brother, Colonel Valentine, explained that Sir James was proud of his department's efficiency and couldn't survive the scandal. We then visited Cadogan West's fiancée, Miss Violet Westbury, who described him as single-minded, chivalrous, and patriotic. She admitted he was worried about something related to his official life, but couldn't explain the facts surrounding his death. Holmes looked grave, suspecting something significant. Mr. Sidney Johnson, the senior clerk, met Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson at the office, where they discussed the death of the chief, Cadogan West, and the theft of important papers. Johnson was devastated as the office was disorganized and the papers stolen. Holmes suspected West's guilt, but Johnson trusted him. They discussed the 3 keys needed to access the safe, and Johnson had only the key to the safe. Holmes wondered why West would take the originals instead of copying them. Holmes examined the office, finding signs of someone entering through the window. He discovered that West had taken a train to London on the night of the crime, alone and nervous. Holmes reconstructed the events, suggesting that West might have been approached by a foreign agent and followed him to the office, where he saw the documents being stolen. However, this theory raised new questions, such as why West didn't seize the thief and raise the alarm. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson investigated the mysterious death of Cadogan West, whose body was found on a metropolitan train with 7 papers in his pocket. They received a list of suspects from Mycroft, including Adolphe Mayer, Louis La Rothiere, and Hugo Oberstein. Holmes believed Oberstein, who lived near the underground, was the key to solving the case. He discovered that Oberstein's house had a window overlooking the train tracks, where West's body could have been placed. Holmes and Watson planned to break into Oberstein's empty house to search for evidence, despite not having a warrant. Holmes instructed Watson to wait outside while he conducted the search, as they were bound to act to uncover the truth. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson escaped a policeman by using an archway and entering a dark passage. They found a window with soot and blood marks, indicating a body had been placed there. A train stopped beneath them, and they realized the body must have been on the roof. They searched a suite of rooms, finding a study with papers and books. Holmes examined everything, but found nothing incriminating until he opened a tin cash box with newspaper slips inside. The slips contained coded messages from Pierrot discussing a deal. Holmes believed they could catch Pierrot by answering the latest message. The next day, Holmes, Watson, Mycroft, and Lestrade planned to catch Pierrot. Holmes created a new message, and they waited at Oberstein's house. After an hour, they heard footsteps and 2 taps on the door, signaling Pierrot's arrival. Holmes caught Colonel Valentine Walter, the younger brother of the late Sir James Walter, at Mr. Oberstein's house. Walter had stolen important papers from his brother's office and was trying to sell them to Oberstein. However, things took a dark turn when Cadogan West, who had been following Walter, intervened and was murdered by Oberstein. Walter confessed to the crime, but claimed he didn't kill West. He told Holmes that Oberstein had struck West with a life preserver, and they had placed the body on a train to avoid suspicion. Holmes got Walter to write a letter to Oberstein, luring him to a meeting, and Oberstein was eventually caught and imprisoned for 15 years. The stolen papers, the Bruce-Partington Plans, were found in Oberstein's trunk. Colonel Walter died in prison 2 years into his sentence. After some time, I found out that my friend visited Windsor and returned with a beautiful emerald tie-pin. When I asked if he bought it, he said it was a gift from a noble lady he helped in the past. He didn't say more, but I think I know who the lady is, and the pin will always remind him of the exciting case of the Bruce-Partington Plans.